For the economics who are here, I may have simplified and oversimplified your discipline, but if you ask me questions of a technical nature, this book is asking us to break the box. I know the box we break in Nigeria is the ballot box, but this one is very important. What we are dealing with today is very important. And let me congratulate the organizers, the authors, and other members of the team, and other guests who are here. I came here with my friends and colleagues. Senator Ogochukwu Uba is here. I have Barrister Solomon, or Comrade Solomon Dalun. I have Mr. Godwin, or Chief Godwin Usigbeme. I have Mr. Silas Alani. And I have other people on the team who, in the course of the program, might be introduced by the organizers, or they will introduce themselves. So in view of how much we've done with time, let me clarify my mission here. I was asked to speak to a topic, economic imperatives for sustainable development in Nigeria, from potential to actuality. So the program, essentially, the theme of what we're doing today is on economics. And economics is seen by many people as a discipline which other people have to deal with. But in reality, everyone is an economist. So, and most problems that we face in society have to do with economics. Even our politics is the politics of our economics. If we are talking of insecurity, a lot of it is about our economic insecurity and how economic insecurity leads to other insecurities. So if we are talking of state creation, power rotation, whatever we talk about, the economics is in the background. So, but I want to discuss this topic for those who are inside this hall and those who are outside the hall. For those who are making policies in the State House and all the government houses in the country, central bank, everywhere, and also those who are on the street, who are participating in the economy. So it's going to be a fluctuation between being technical and being kind of on the street also. What we are talking about here is basically what are the problems we have to solve in economics for Nigeria to become a reliably and continuously developed country, so that we will not be talking our economics to sound like prayers. Nigeria will be better. We have potentials. You know, you ask yourself, because as human beings, as you are growing up, and you are a very brilliant student, and when you are 2 years old, you are able to talk, and you are able to read ABC. And people say you have a great potential. So this child has a great potential, because at the age of 2, this child is able to read and write, and is able to speak. Then other children around cannot even speak. Then that child, who is 2 years old, and we say has potential, that child is now 5 years old. He's still able to speak and write and ABC. You say that child has potential. Then this child is 10 years old. Other kids who could not speak before, who could not write before, are now in finishing primary school. This same child, who at the age of 2 could read and write and talk, is only able to read and write and talk ABC. But you still say the child has potential. And then other children, when they get to the age of 18, other children now have finished secondary school. They are writing university exam. That 2-year-old child is also 15 years old. He's still able to read and write and say ABC. It hasn't gone beyond. You still say, well, that child has potential. Then the other kids, all of them become 20 years old. They are graduating from university. Even those who didn't know how to read before. They are now going for NYSC. That same child you'll be monitoring from the age of 2, he's still able to talk and do ABCD. You still say the child has potential. Then they say, when is this child going to realize the potential? Because other children who couldn't read and write at the age of 2, they are now going for their masters. And this one we say has potential is still only able to do ABCD. It's not growing. So at a stage, you stop talking about potential. You realize that this child has a developmental problem. And that is the state of Nigeria. The day I was born, Nigeria had potentials. I'm 50 years old. Nigeria has potentials. If I'm not careful and I don't come out and run for president, the day I'm buried, Nigeria will still have potentials. And other countries who had no potentials, they've developed in these 50 years. And our people are running there, leaving our potentials behind. So when are we going to learn that this issue of potential has to become actuality? And that is what we are discussing today. It may come in a complicated economic language, but what we are saying is this country has potentials. Yes. So in 1972, when I was born, Nigeria had potentials. United Arab Emirates had no potential because it was a desert. But I'm 50 years old. My country still has potentials. But somebody can finish in Nigeria as vice president and run to Dubai to go and be a stranger there and leave our potentials behind for us. So we need to learn what we need to do. So I don't know how much time is given, and I don't know how much patience you have, but let me go beyond the potential of my speech and give an actual speech. What we need to understand is that economics have imperatives. So even if you don't know economics, if you don't know anything about economics, you can learn economics on your own. Why? Just wake up as a family. Don't teach anyone economics. Just wake up as a family. When you wake up in the morning, you will see that after a while, the children will start getting hungry. Even you as an adult, after you've done your prayers or whatever you are doing, yoga, whatever, you start to get hungry too. So the economics of your stomach will remind you that you need food. So from that moment, you start your economics. Oh, we need food. How do I get food for 7 people? So you start with home economics. Do I cook the food? Do I buy the food from the vendor? If I have no food, do I borrow food from my neighbor? Or if I have no money, do I sell my shoes and buy food? So you have to make economic decisions. It's an imperative, it's not a choice. So that's how a country has to feed its people. It's an imperative. And when you eat the food, you can discuss the economics of eating the food, then you go out. When you are coming back and you are tired, you need to enter a home. Then you discover, do I have a home? Or am I renting one? How do I pay the rent? Sometimes you get ill. You have to say, I have a headache. I'm also hungry. So I have 200 naira. Do I buy Panadol or do I buy some food and eat? So you are making choices out of your limited resources. Now you ask yourself, on the other side, so today I've experienced hunger, I've had to pay my house rent, I've been ill with a headache or something, and I need to take care of myself. How do I get the money? Or how do I get the means to do this? Then you realize, okay, I can go and work. So there's productivity. Because on the other side of consumption is productivity. You have to produce something. Then you start to tell your children who say they are hungry. You say that you are 17 years old. Maybe if you go to that store and work as a clerk, maybe you can earn some money, and you won't have to come to me to say you're hungry every morning. I mean, as for this one who is 5 years old, I can understand, but you are 17. You should be able to go there and do a clerk work and get some money. So you are teaching that child productivity. So you will see that the economics of a family that cumulatively, maybe 2 people working, and they are able to earn 50,000 naira, is different from the economics of a family that nobody is working. And it's also different from the economics of a family where one man is working, there is earning 1 million naira a month. So the relationship between what you need to consume and what you can produce in exchange for that consumption dictates a lot of things at micro level, dealing with you as individuals, or a small family, or a company, or at the macro level, dealing with society. So this topic that was given to me, I tried to break it down so that we can understand that the economics of Nigeria is in the hand of everybody who is here and those who are listening to me, and that the reason why we have so many of these problems that we do have is our, one, not understanding the essence of our economics and the role we have to play in it, or understanding it but not taking responsibility for it. You just say, why is Buhari not developing the economy? Why is the governor so not making the state develop? Why this, why that? Even if you go to the Ministry of Finance, or you go to the Ministry of Trade and Investment, which they don't have industry anymore. If you go to the Ministry of Agric, you will see that responsible people in these ministries and departments will also be asking questions, why is the economy like this? Even though they are in charge of it, they will ask you, why is the economy like this? At a time in this country, a former head of state, he was head of state at that time, General Babangida said, he was wondering what's wrong with the Nigerian economy. Even though he has been in charge of it for about a number of years. He was talking to the press and said, he didn't even know why the economy had not collapsed. He doesn't understand this economy. So I want us to understand it. It doesn't mean that once we understand it, automatically we've solved the problem, but it means that we can now decide whether to solve the problem or not. So in Nigeria, there are 3 types of people with respect to relationship to what I'm discussing. There are those who are oblivious of it. So the first set, who don't know what is wrong. They don't know that something is wrong. They don't know why. There's nothing they can do. They can only pray, lament, or whatever. People like me have a choice. I can keep quiet and say, well, it's not my business. Or I can come out like this and talk about it. Then there's a third group. They know what is wrong, but they are not in position to do anything about it. They know it, but they can't do anything. They are not able to talk about it. They are not able to influence anyone. Maybe they are not even in the country at all. Maybe they are not Nigerians, but they know something's wrong with the economy. And then they just know it, but they can't do anything about it. So I fall into the middle. I know it, and I can do something about it. I can talk about it like now. I can expose it to other people. The reason why Boko Haram and bandits are walking around is because those in charge of political entity have allowed them, they've rented the country to them and allowed them to walk about. But if they don't want them to walk about, they will not walk about. I can guarantee you that if the president of Nigeria wants to eradicate Boko Haram in 20 days, he will eradicate Boko Haram in 20 days. So don't worry about that. If you don't want bandits in 7 days, there will be no bandits in 7 days. If Nigerian president doesn't want one chance in Abuja, there will be no one chance in Abuja in 5 days. That one is sure. But they need those problems to send you to church. Why they go to central bank? So they want to use those ones to keep you busy. So Nigeria is a political entity. But more relevant to today's topic, Nigeria is an economic entity. Nigeria is a company that sells and buys, that produces, that allocates resources. So Nigeria is failing as an economic enterprise. It's like a family business. A man who is a tailor opens a tailoring shop, the wife is there, the children are there, or selling akara on the street, or you open a bank. That's how Nigeria is. So today, I will not approach Nigeria from the perspective of political entity, which of course we will interface from time to time. I will deal with Nigeria as an economic entity, as an economic enterprise. Why is Nigeria, as an economic enterprise, making a lot of income, but declaring a loss and not paying the shareholders? So Nigeria is like a bank that every year collects a lot of money. They declare a loss every time. No matter what happens, they always declare a loss. But those who are managing it are getting richer. The shareholders don't get any return. So, now, if we had enough time, which we don't, I will tell you that Nigeria was first an economic entity before it became a political entity. But let me just say this for people to understand and go and do research on it. Nigeria was set up as a company. Nigeria we are in today. And let me tell you why you need to look at it. And it is not a joke. And it is not a metaphor. Actually, Nigeria was set up as a company registered in London. So the first thing about Nigeria was that it was a company registered in London called Royal Niger Company, as a proper company with a certificate of incorporation and owned by a gentleman called Tubman Goldie. He set up a company and said that territory around River Niger, Benue, from Lokoja down, I went to the Queen and said, I am setting up a company to run that place. The way if you want to set up a factory, you buy the land or you take the land, and then you go to CAC and incorporate the company and say, I want to run. So Nigeria started as a business. So this is not an insult, it's a fact of history. And Nigeria started as a one-man business owned by Tubman Goldie. If you want, you can Google it, you'll put the picture of the man here. He's a real man with children and grandchildren who are still living in England till today. So, and then they say, okay, give him the business. He gave him the license, he pay a fee, go there. So the man, coming and discovering that people were on the land, decided to set up an army so that if they don't obey him or they give him any headache, just the way if you set up a factory, you hire security guards. So security guards will be taking care of your factory in case there are intruders or any little problems. That's why we had the West African Frontier Force working for the company. And that company has an office in Lagos, in Marina, because later they changed their name to United African Company, UAC. So you will see, if you go to Marina in Lagos, you will see UAC. And Shonekon was one of their workers. Before Shonekon, there were other people. So, and Shonekon, that was why it was easy for Shonekon to become head of state, because he ran the business side, so he can come and run the political side. So I'm giving you the context to know that Nigeria has always been seen as a company. as a business. And if you have enough time for history, we'll talk about it, how the company, later the British government, saw that the company was doing well. So they called the top man and said, hey, you are doing well, this company is growing, we want to buy the company from you. So the British government paid Topman Goldie and bought Nigeria and paid and got a receipt. So Nigeria was sold to them, and then the British took over Nigeria and set up a political entity over it. And they set up two, Southern Nigeria and Northern Nigeria. Later, just like Access Bank and Diamond Bank merged together, then they said, we are the owner of the two businesses, let's merge it together. In 1914, they merged it together. They merged the two of them together. So that's why we are here. So let us take this business seriously, because we are in a business company. Let us take the business seriously. So, and what you need to understand is that the resources which this company was set up to exploit and sell are the same resources that the Nigerian government is exploiting and selling too. So, but eventually, when the British were leaving, they needed people to manage the company. And some other ideas came, Second World War came, and other ideas about liberty, human rights, and all of that. So they turned people who are in that business premises, they turned them to citizens. And we wrote a constitution. And they say, okay, any of you who wants to run this company, you can contest election and join the board of directors. Of course, that didn't last long. The military took over and all of that story. But what I'm letting you know is that Nigeria came first as a business, and it's still being run as a business. And those who are in charge of Nigeria today running it like a business. That is why you can get annoyed easily. Why are you not thinking about us? Why are you not thinking about this? Why are you not, people are dying, and you are making a lot of money out of it, and all of that. But to them, it's a business. And they hijack the business. So just the way companies, you know, some companies are very, I'm a lawyer, a corporate lawyer, I see some of the companies. Some companies, when they want to cheat, and they realize that their factory is in Aba, and their shareholders are in Aba, Anambra, whatever, they will go and put the annual general meeting in Maiduguri, to hold the annual general meeting in Maiduguri, and they will publish the notice in Herald newspaper that you don't read in Aba. So then they will come quietly and choose who is going to talk, and then they will approve fake accounts and everything, and they say, yes, we have declared, and they walk away. And they will go and file it in CAC and say, we have done the meeting. So that's what is happening in Nigeria. So now, realizing that it's a company, we have two things we can do. And we tried to do that in 1979. We can say, okay, why don't we make a proper republic out of this business? Why don't you have a social contract, like the type you have in Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution, to say, okay, the resources and everything that comes out of this company should be used for welfare and all of that, of people, education of people, and things like that. That's one idea. Another idea is, why don't we even become more efficient in running this business? Why are we not more proficient? Why don't we get productivity out of people? Why don't we do proper accountability to avoid a situation where one man, the chicken change that he's collecting because it's accountant general, so they call him, bring money. Give to Oga, bring money. So he's keeping a little part of it. It's not as if the accountant general is a thief. No, he works for thieves. He's not the real thief. He just works for them. So when they say, bring 20 naira, he will keep 20 kobo out of it and deliver the rest. So is that 20 kobo he's been keeping? That's what became 140-something billion. It's not the real money. If you measure the real money, you will run out of this hall. So, because your calculator will bring error. When you calculate the amount, it will bring error because there's no digit in the Casio calculator to take care of it. So these decisions are now in your hand because these people who took over this company, by whatever means, and who are mismanaging it and making enough out of it, they don't have any incentive to make it a better company or to produce more. I don't know if you remember what happened to Nitel. Nitel's business was to give us telephony and other ancillary services related to telephony. But for many years, the telephones were not working. The switch and exchanges were obsolete. But Nitel was still there. The MD was still flying first class. He was still living in their quarters. And if they sold any land belonging to Nitel, that's enough money for them to share. So there was no incentive to give you telephone until we started doing the GSM and all of that. So that's how it is with Nigeria, that those who are running Nigeria don't need productivity to take care of themselves. Because the natural growth of the economy, the valuation of assets is enough to take care of themselves. Because if you walk into the villa and you spend 4 years, you can walk away with 400 billion, even if you are completely stupid. You cannot read anything, you cannot sign anything, you cannot turn water, not to wine, to turn water to tea. You can't do it. But you will still leave that place with 400 billion. Your wife will live with more because maybe she's more active and she's more creative. Your children, your nephew, your cousins will live with more. Those who come to visit you regularly will live with 40 billion. Those who are your classmates and you meet them at a function, they say, follow me there. And they visit you, they will live with 200 million. So why do they want to be productive? So it is the shareholders who are sitting on red chairs, listening to figures from a microphone, but they have not seen it before. They are the ones who need to be serious. Because it is you who are remaining on the side of that thing they call potential. And you are growing old, and the potential still remains potential. So what can you do? That's what are the imperatives. The imperatives are this: that Nigeria must grow enough food to be able to feed Nigerians, so that no matter what goes wrong anywhere, a Nigerian is not associated with hunger, because it is absolutely mind-boggling and shameful that a Nigerian can say, I am hungry. There are certain things that should not happen to Nigeria, a Nigerian, not because he's smart or anything, but if you are located in a place like this, where food grows by itself and all of that, and if with a little husbandry and cultivation, you should not have problem of food. So an economic imperative is that Nigeria must be able to feed its citizens. Second imperative is that we must be able to provide housing for all Nigerians. Another imperative is that we must be able to give medical care to our people. Because if you look at, my father died when I was 2 years, 3 months old. And if he had stayed in England just 2 more months or 3 more months, he will not be dead. He will be alive now. So, and there are many people you know who want to be alive today. Maybe they went for a childbirth somewhere, or they had a little accident somewhere, or they were born with some heart that's not pumping well that you can actually just take care of. But they are all dead now. You go for burial of your uncles and aunties who are supposed to be alive just They just need a hip replacement or something simple like that. And they're all dying. And you say the Lord has called them. The Lord is not happy to hear that. The Lord doesn't call people. Why does he call Nigerians more than other people? So you just need to take care of people and not say the Lord called them. Just to shift the responsibility to the divine. We can take care of people here because the Lord is not calling people in Cuba until they are 90-something years old. In France, you see them crossing the street on their bikes everywhere. The Lord is not calling them. Why is the Lord so special? Why are we special? The Lord is calling us very fast. So I think we should just make our hospitals very efficient and very effective and affordable. Then the timing of the Lord's calling will be less frequent. Now, on top of that, we need to give education to our people. And we need to give 3 types of education combined into one. We need to give our people a sound knowledge of their environment, general awareness, so that you can be a good citizen. Because we have a lot of bad citizens. If you look at National Assembly, the way they behave, you know that we have produced very bad citizens, and we send them to the National Assembly. If you look at civil servants, the way they behave, if you look at judges, lawyers, ministers, the way they behave, you know that we have not produced good people. Because good people don't steal 140 billion that they don't need. In fact, good people don't steal 1 naira at all. And there are countries where that doesn't happen. Good people don't run for president and still want to be minister and not resign. Just common sense. So we need education that teaches people how to be good people, to respect others, to know what you can't take what does not belong to you and stuff like that. Then you need people to have technical education, ability to solve mathematical equations, to do quantum physics, to do quantum mechanics, to understand architecture, law, medicine, pharmacology, and all of that, science, tech. You need that because of productivity. On top of that, you need people who understand society, education that allows you to understand society, where you know that the traffic light is for you to stop. And it can happen to anybody. It happened to me. As I was coming here, the people in our convoy just thought because we want to come and give a speech in the hall, we are now important people, and they passed the light and blew some noise. So, but they are otherwise good people, but they have no education to know that coming to Art Center to give a lecture does not authorize you to pass the light. You know, other people have other places to go too. So we need that kind of education. So, and we need the state to be responsible for that education. So that's another imperative. Otherwise, you will produce a one-chance driver who could actually have been an airline pilot. You will produce a bandit who otherwise could have been a major in the army defending the country. So failure to educate people makes you unproductive and make them disruptive. And Nigeria has a lot of nuisance, from the villa to the street, from a lot of nuisance coming out of poor or lack of education. So now, that's another imperative. Then you have imperative to create other things, production for the sake of creativity. So those are the things we need to do in our economy. So the next question is, how do you fund these things? How do you institutionalize them? That is where we are talking of sustainable development. Now let me tell you that in economics, you use what you have to get what you want. It's an exchange. You don't have everything. As blessed as Nigeria is, Nigeria doesn't have everything. But it has more than enough to get everything it wants to get. So in this country, once you are born, even Nigerian children who are born today, some children have been born, they are richer being born today than Joseph Biden, who is the president of the US. If a child is born in Nigeria today, it doesn't matter where he's born, or who the parent is, or anybody. For just being born here, the accident of being born in Nigeria, that child is richer than the king of Saudi Arabia. That is a fact. Because that child is a shareholder in the largest gas reserve in the world. Nigeria gas reserve is 30 times the entire American economy combined. That's everything America has achieved from George Washington till now. Nigerian gas reserve is 30 times that one. And America has Army, Air Force, Marine, terrorizing everybody everywhere, just to be able to achieve what it has achieved. But Nigeria, just by lying down here, we have 30 times that in gas only. Now, let me tell you what is happening. The light is on. Civil servants are at their places of work. Many cities in Nigeria are open. But do you know that as we're able to do that, a lot is being stolen. We're able to do that despite that 80% of every crude we make today is stolen under this government. 80%. So imagine if immediately you collect your salary, armed robbers and bandits and one chance grab you together and collect 80% of your salary. But the 20% is still enough for you to feed your entire family. That means you are well paid. And next month, you want to receive your salary again, the same armed robbers, bandits come to you and collect 80%. But what is left is still enough for you to run your family. So imagine if you were not being robbed of 80% for the 35 years you have been working. How much more will you be able to take care not only of your family, that of your neighbor, your church, your mosque, or whatever? So that is what is happening to Nigeria. So the economic imperative now is that can we at least get more of that which we have already? I'm not talking of sunshine, another esoteric wealth that we have. If we put solar panel here and want to export the power to some countries, we will sell. But I don't even want to go into fifth-tier economy. I'm going to basic things. Land for agriculture, water resources, gas, petroleum, whatever. Now, if you train Nigerians as good teachers, the way we were training teachers before, Nigeria will train enough teachers in 5 years to 10 years that we will have well-trained, well-paid teachers in our schools and have enough teachers to export that will give us more money than we make from petroleum. Just teachers. Because when I was in secondary school, teachers came from India and Pakistan to teach me, paid for by Ondo State government. I don't know how they found the money, but they discovered that the schools were weak in science teachers. Because of the growth of industry and all of that, many graduates who graduated in sciences went to petroleum industry and all of that. Not many of them were teachers. So they took the decision to import teachers from overseas. So as young as I am, I can still remember that when I was at St. Joseph's College, there were Indians and Pakistanis who were teachers teaching us science. So now, Philippines is a country that if you go there, if you know Makoko in Lagos or any creek in Niger Delta, that's how the Philippines is. Several islands. No island is as big as Abuja, just several islands. But they train enough sailors that the sailors earn enough money and send home more than NNPC is giving to Nigerians. So we can go on and on all these potentials. It will sound like I'm go back to potentials, but these are things you can actualize. But to actualize them, you need certain things that we don't have in abundance. God gave to us, but we threw them away. God gave us character and morality. Because if you are going from here to the airport and you have 2 cars in your garage and you have fuel in the cars and you have 3 drivers driving you, and your flight is 7 p.m., and you leave now to go to the airport, and out of the 3 cars you have, 2 are going with you in case one has a fault. What will stop you from being able to catch your flight? Because you only need 1 car, but you have 2. You only need 50 minutes to ride to the airport, but you have 5 hours to go there. You only need like 1/4 of your tank to get there, but you have full tank times 2. But you are not able to get to the airport because the driver who is driving you is a kidnapper. So he tells them, I'm driving madam to the airport, but he's actually carrying you to a den. That is what is happening to Nigeria. So it is not as if things can't work. Those who are running things don't want them to work. Because things working or not working is not relevant to their ability to satisfy themselves. So an assistant director for planning is not planning so that the planning process will work and everybody will be happy. It's planning to be transferred from planning to finance and supplies, so that he becomes a full director and he can steal money, and if he steals enough money, he can pay them in civil service, head of civil service, and he becomes a permanent secretary. Then he becomes a permanent thief. So, and if you steal enough as a permanent thief to bribe so that next time they make him a minister, then he will steal enough as a minister to dislodge the governor of his state and become a governor. And now he can steal with executive immunity. So he steals in the afternoon, not at night anymore, when everybody has closed. So, and because he's stealing, he needs about 800 people to be part of his people stealing for him. So he trained 800 more thieves, who too are jealous of him and say, if a guy who's stupid can be make this amount of money, I'm smarter than him, let me go to my state too and be a governor there. So the epidemic is now everywhere. So, any discussion of economics, where you are talking of microeconomy, macroeconomy, econometrics, you are talking of choice, you are talking of opportunity costs, you are talking of all those technical jargons, don't work in Nigeria. Because the people who are managing the economy are not managing an economy. They are managing a looting process. So you can do the analysis for them. They don't read it. So you have to now come back to the people here and say, what do we do? You need to understand the process of self-development and also acknowledge your own role in the felling of the tree. Because when a beautiful tree is planted and it's felled, and they say, who are the wicked people who fell this tree? You cannot say, well, it's not me. I only use the axe to hit it only one time now. Is that one time can he fell the tree? But if 10,000 people use one time to knock the tree is going to fall. So you need to know and acknowledge the role you play in the economy of Nigeria. That are you also part of the saboteur? Because that place you work and somebody is supposed to pay 10,000, you collect 5,000 and let them inside and you don't issue the receipt. It's part of it. It's not the whole of it, but it's part of it, so you need to take care of that. The third is that we must be collective. We must organize together. If you find anybody who doesn't know anything, but who loves Nigeria, vote him as a governor. He will do better than that thief. So I want us to understand that for the economics who are here, I may have simplified and oversimplified your discipline, but if you ask me questions of a technical nature, I will answer them. But my mission today is to let you know that the economy of Nigeria is in your hand, and the politics of Nigeria is in your hand. And don't pretend that you have a leader anywhere. And that potential becoming an actuality, the bridge to to convert that is you. And you must act individually to be a good citizen and to be productive, but we must, more importantly, act collectively to seize control of our destiny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing speech there, I must confess.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Represented here this afternoon, we have the Office of the SDG, Social Development.
This book is asking us to break the box. I know the box we break in Nigeria is the ballot box, but this one is very important. We break the box, and I don't see a prize there, but this book appeals to me, and I don't know what the price is, but I think I will do whatever it takes to give the author 5 million naira. Wow. In exchange, because in economics, nothing is free. I will need to see a lot of the books, because I want to give a copy to every minister so that they can read it and understand that they are not ministers. And if they are ministers, they are not ministers in the temple of God, and they are not ministers in the temple of Nigerians. And I will also send it to every school of management in Nigeria, and every department of economics and politics. So I'm grateful to God that we have an author with fresh ideas, and as he's bringing these fresh ideas, is renewing Nigeria. When people say, let us renew Nigeria, he has just renewed Nigeria. Thank you. Where is it? Yeah. Who is this? It's with me. What I did on behalf of my own entourage. Okay. Yes.
All right, please.
What? Yes, you can take it.
Yes.
Can we have the Team Ramotu now, please? Team Ramotu, represented here, please. DJ, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and congratulations to, I don't know, okay, NH James. That's my brother-in-law here. I'm so proud of you. On behalf of Team Ramotu, the greatest team in Africa, we are buying this book for 150,000.
We are the future, we are the dream, we are the nation.
DJ, please bring it down. Thank you.
Well, let me congratulate the author for this giant step he has taken to try to reduce his thoughts into writing. The culture of reading in Nigeria is not quite popular. But, he has taken the steps to do this. Let me also congratulate the keynote speaker. For educating us. My take from what he has said today is that because Nigeria was established as a company by Thomas Goldie, and it was handed over to the British government, and from the British government, it was handed over to another set of businessmen, and the businessmen has continued to run the country as a business empire. And so they care more about profits making than the welfare of the people. And some of us had also participated in sitting in council of the business empire of Nigeria. But he has suggested that a way out of this is for the shareholders to take their destinies into their hands. And I want to advise Nigerians that 2023 is a very critical year. If Nigerians go for Maggi, slippers, salt, and 5,000, then I will not want Nigerians to blame any government for not delivering. But I've shortly discovered too that we do blame governments in this country, but we should begin to blame those who produce that government. And it's not Nigerians, the delegates who produce the candidate that Nigerians are given the options to choose between 3 or 4 devils without appropriate knowledge of which of the devils is a better one. And so we have been left just to look at them in their faces and said, well, this one looks much better, not knowing that we were going for the worst. So I believe that INEC should include in their laws a tribunal to try delegates at the end of every election season if we have bad government in Nigeria. And if there are people that are supposed to be executed, we should round up all the delegates who produce the candidate and put them on trial, because they produce what Nigerians have no option to choose from. The failure of the government in Nigeria is not that of Nigerians, but it's for the delegates. Because the delegates are like sane people who gave a madman matches in the filling station. So if you set the filling station ablaze, you don't blame the madman, but you blame the same person who gave him the matches. And so the mad people ruling us today are a product of the same people, the delegates, who gave them matches in the filling station, and they have set the country ablaze. So we must do something about the delegate system. No wonder when it was time to amend the Electoral Act, they were against the direct primaries. If something is not done, this country will not move forward. So I want to call on Nigerians that 2023 is too critical, and we must produce a government that will save this country. If we fail, then let's blame ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, quickly, we have one of our fathers here, Mr. Daniel Usman, sir. Okay. Okay. Just one of our big uncles.
On behalf of the Usman's family, his aunties and uncle, I will launching this book with the sum of 250,000 naira.
Thank you. Please help me, our father, Senator Ugochukwu Uba. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so delighted today. Sitting here today, listening to the chairman, the author, and the reviewer. What this tells me is that there is a lot of hope in Nigeria. This young man has made it known to us that we should not lose hope. So the argument that we should rescue the nation starts today. And like the chairman says, he's going to distribute this book. And I know a lot of young men and women who will find an opportunity to read it. We gain a lot from it. So much has happened to our country. It's time to heal the wounds, and it's time to rescue it. So young men and women, you have an opportunity in 2023 to save our nation and to rescue our nation. And more importantly, the chairman of this occasion is a presidential candidate. And with him, having listened to him today, if it's at the helm of affairs, it will be time for Nigeria to celebrate. So every one of you who is here, get your PVC card, recruit more people, that this time around, we'll make sure that we enthrone or we elect Prince Adebayo, Barrister Adebayo, as the president of Nigeria. So if you are listening to him, you can be sure that if this opportunity is given to him, we can go home and celebrate. Thank you.
Why I'm highly interested in this is that, one, if the government denies us food on the table, they should not deny us food for thought, at least. So we should be able to think about our situation. Secondly, when you see people gather in government, and there are people here who are on this table in front of me here, you will see someone who has been in the Executive Council. He's been there for 4 years, so he knows what they discuss there. And Senator here has been the highest legislative body, both the plenary, committee, and executive session. When you see them on TV, you will tend to assume that they must be thinking about our problems seriously. But you'll be surprised that you are the only one thinking about your problem. Because Federal Executive Council is where they go approve contracts, that's all. There is nothing there. The minister will tell you more. If you attempt to bring anything intelligent there, you are about to lose your job. And you will do one term, and you'll be left with a walking stick to carry around. So, and Senator, you serve in the Senate. You know how difficult it is that if you speak a long speech and does not have naira and kobo in it, then you are point of order. So institutions that we build to think for us are not thinking. So we need to start thinking for ourselves so that you imagine a child who is hungry but has irresponsible parents who are just drinking, smoking, and wasting their time. There are some parents like that. So normally a child should be lying down and the mother or father will say, this child needs to eat. But if you don't do it, the child will now come to you and say, Mommy, I'm hungry. But if the parent is even more irresponsible, the child will start thinking. He will not say, he will not keep quiet, and he will not even say, I'm hungry. He will go to the mommy and say, Mommy, I'm hungry, but there's some bread there. Can I take the bread? Because the child now is beginning to think that if I just lie down, they won't listen to me. And if I tell them my problem, they won't find a solution. So the child will go around the house and find food and say, Ma, there's a leftover rice there. Can I cook it? So that's how we are now in Nigeria. That if we keep quiet, the government will just wait for us to die. If we complain to them, they will not listen to us. You can do NSAS. After 1 month, they will bring armor tank, and they will shoot 20 people and say nobody died. They are miraculously, with 2,000 bullets, expect nobody dies from the bullet. But you can go beyond that and do what we are doing today. Set up a think tank and go on with the solution. Then you can now start presenting solutions to your elders, not problems anymore. So that is why I'll accept to be here, not only to be chairman of this launching, but to be chancellor of it for 4 years. So for 4 years, I'll be chancellor of it, then we'll review the rest later. But from today, it's not just launch and go away. From today, everybody here who leaves their email address and phone number will be getting some ideas and solutions being sent to you. And we'll be holding seminars and discussion that nobody can lie to you again, except you lie to yourself, about the problems of Nigeria. You know, I've been making one statement, 3 statements I've been making in the last 1 year, that people thought maybe I was exaggerating or I was losing my mind. First, I said to Nigerians that anybody who comes to you and says that Nigeria is broke is your enemy. Nigeria is not broke. As I talk to you now, there is enough money in FCDA only, not talking of federal government, to take care of all the problems, not only of Abuja, but of the whole of Nigeria. There is enough money in Rivers State of Nigeria only, Rivers State, not only to take care of Nigeria, to take care of all the country in West Africa. Just Rivers State. I'm not saying potential money that is there right now. There is enough money in government. That is why if a person is in government, doing government work, and is sick, is in the hospital, he cannot eat, he cannot drink, he will never resign. If a person is in government department where there's money and he does not take leave for 7 years, he will never complain. So, and if a person is in government for 3 days, on a small assignment, 3 days, he will not leave government for 30 years. People you see in government today were invited just to come and do short work. They will never go away. So they will become minister, go back and become governor, go back and become senator, come back, they will never go. Because the money in government is so unbelievable. So that's one thing I've been saying. And you see, if you don't believe me, go to National Stadium and you see those people who gather there, everybody there now, everybody you saw in that PDP camera, that day, you see camera, anybody you know there, write their name in the book of millionaires. They all made money from just attending. Second thing I've been saying is that 80% of the crude oil we make in Nigeria are not stolen with the Ministry of Finance or NNPC. They are stolen on the street. So we need ideas like this there. Lastly, I've been saying that every problem Nigeria has, every problem, has a solution that we can apply today and it will disappear. However, the reason why these problems don't go away is that for every problem you pray against in the church, for every problem you pray against in the mosque, for everything you climb mountain, you go to Mecca, you cry over, those problems are the sources of income of the people in charge. So they don't want your problem to disappear so that the income coming from the problem will not stop flowing to their pocket. So these three things are going to be addressed as part of what we address here. And as we are addressing them, make your contribution. So this conference that we are, roundtable that we are doing, will bring out so many ideas, and governments will be formed out of it, books will be written out of them, and so many other things. Private people will benefit from it, the government will benefit, and community will benefit. Thank you very much.
You talked about, during the conclusive part of the presentation, you talked about young people taking charge of the economy and the politics. What exactly do you mean?
What I mean is that in Nigeria, we're in an atmosphere of governmental orphanage. Those who are responsible for the affairs of this country, for leadership, for proper governance, for provision of security and welfare, they have absconded from their duty. So Nigerians are like the children of a wealthy family who lost their parents. And their caretakers are looting the resources without care for the beneficiaries. Or a company that's under a hostile takeover. So what I'm saying to the Nigerian youth is that it's not enough to be angry. It is not enough to complain. That you must take ownership. Because those who are in government today, those before them, and those who are planning to come now, are coming to and loot your resources. They are not going to give you even the barest services that anyone with reasonable competence can give. So the earlier you woke up and you did three things, the better for you. One, you must find solutions to your problem by yourself. Two, you must act collectively to be productive in the economy. And you must take control of the politics and put people like you who can think, who love the country, who are youthful, energetic. You must put them in position of responsibility. And 2023 is an opportunity to do so. That's basically why what I'm preaching to the young people. Stop complaining to the government. Stop complaining to the politicians. Be the government and be the politician. That is the essence of what the youth can do now. Take control. Like an orphan who become prematurely mature and come and take control of their own destiny.
Okay, you'll be standing in the 2023 general election on the platform of the SDP. Where without to transform Nigeria, there's no structure on ground for you to win election.
Well,
are you concerned about this? Or do you see something different happening in 2023?
We didn't want to use the structure that they use because that structure is corrupted. And you could see that structure. When a political party is doing its convention, its entire structure will come to a location. Like in the case of the PDP, they came to the National Stadium. And the APC, they will go to Eagle Square. So you will see the entire structure of the party. And what are they doing with their structure? They are using stolen money to bribe their structure to vote for them. So they don't have a structure. If you cannot become a presidential candidate of PDP or APC without paying dollars, thousands of dollars, to the member of your own party, that means you don't have people in your own party who believe in you. So they don't have structure. They only have stolen money with which they are creating a criminal network. So what we decided to do is to make the people of Nigeria our structure. So anybody who is running away from bandits, anyone who is hungry, homeless, jobless, is our structure. The structure is in the people. Anyone who wants a better life for their child is a structure. So there's no political party in Nigeria that contains 1% of Nigerian people. Even the largest political party doesn't have up to 1% of Nigerians. All the records are with INEC. So every political party is a minority. So we are trying to ride on the majority by making their problem our problem, and they become our structure. So we don't want to build a structure where you steal government money or other source of illicit income and use it to maintain people to follow your politics. So we don't have any concern. There are 186,640 thereabout polling units in this country. Every voter in that polling unit is our structure. And anyone who has a PVC is our structure. So it is not about stealing a lot of money or calling those who have stolen it to come and help you build people who are going to help you snatch ballot boxes. If you look at the elections, with all the so-called structure they are talking about, how many people come out to vote? Some elections, 8% turnout, 9%, so always single digits turnout. So how is that? And where you have big figures, you will see that ghost voters and other manipulations. So what we are trying to do is to use the people of Nigeria. If you have a problem that bothers you, become part of the STB structure. It is about you, about your children, about your future. And that is the method we're going to use.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Talking about elections and voters, Nigerians are known not to vote for names that have not become household names. And then in the 2023 elections, you coming up, what do you think are your chances?
There are two things. Nigeria, where politics did not matter, it's not the Nigeria we have now. In the past, we had no bandits. We didn't have any of these problems. You could afford to say, I'm not interested in the election. And only those who have been brought up by politicians used to vote. And you typically, you come and vote for the person who has been financing you, who pay you 5,000 naira or 2,000 naira or gives you a wrapper or Maggi or whatever they give, all those other abominable things that they give to people. So that was the case. But now everybody's life is at stake. Is there one chance, Boko Haram or bandits or kidnappers or hunger or all kinds of problems. So there's nobody now who doesn't have a stake that you cannot buy with 10,000, 50,000. So those ones will come out. Secondly, in the past, elections used to be rigged. So the results were not accurate. People who wanted to vote would not be allowed to vote. But now with some reforms in the Electoral Act, with the new guidelines, with instant transmission of result, you will now see that the actual voters will come out and you will see the result. So we don't have any doubt at all that, and we have a period of 9 months or so from now to introduce our topic to the people, to let them know that we have these solutions. We have no doubt that we will surprise them. It will be worse than NSAS for them and be very good for the country.
Sir, you spoke about collectivity.
Yes.
And voting for the right people.
Yes.
In 2015, Nigerians acted together, young people. We saw a man crying on national TV.
Yes.
He has been speaking to Nigerians, seeking to govern them for a long while.
Yes.
And then, Nigerians now elected him, and today, Nigeria is the global headquarters of poverty. What is the guarantee that after this preaching, when you are given power, that something will be different?
Class suicide.
The guarantees as follows. If you have your friend who you trust coming to your house, you trust him. But if he's surrounded by people wearing masks and they are carrying heavy weapon, AK-47, and they are coming, are you going to look only at your friend and open the door? You will not look at those who are surrounding him? You will look at him and say, my friend that is coming, it looks like he has been held hostage. In 2015, Nigerians looked at Buhari only. They did not look at those who were surrounding him by the left, by the right. And you cannot run a government alone. So the lesson you will learn today is that you will not allow one innocent Alibaba to be followed by 40,000 thieves to come and preach to you. You will not only look at the person running for president, you look at those surrounding him. And if you look at 2015, just look at the picture, every campaign picture. Look at it that you saw Buhari, who were on the right, who were on the left. They were the people you were running away from. So this time around, we are coming with a collective. And then each time you see us, question not only me running for president, question the rationale of any of those people who are funding us. In 2015, the people were duped because the people funding Buhari's campaign were the same people who funded that of Jonathan 4 years earlier. The people who were standing to his right, to his left, were the same people, and that is why you are not surprised that the same people now try to bring the same Jonathan back. Buhari was just recruited into a bad gang in 2015, and he has been held hostage since that time. Next year they will release him and pay him his pension. But the people have to come together now and form their own government, not just be waving at somebody who has been kidnapped by the same oligarchy. That's what happened in 2015. It's different now.
Sorry, sir. But your party seems to be more of a lesser evil, because SDP, whenever you open the papers or watch TV, there's always one crisis or the other. So how is that?
Okay, the issue is this. Let me tell you why. In Nigeria, it's like a game of, if you play football or you play rugby. A striker, before you can go and strike a goal, people want to break your legs. So what they see is that if you have a stable political party and you are alone, you will take power. The people who are in government are not only interested in their own political party, they are interested in generating crisis in the political party of other people who can potentially come to power. So what we have been doing is manage it in such a way that we will still be able to win our election. And you will see as time goes on, we will see that we will survive. That's what happened to every political party. Once you are in opposition and you are in genuine opposition, you are not coming to them in the evening to collect money. They will send people to try to distract you. It's part of politics. But the Nigerian people should focus on the ideas that we are bringing, on the character and record of those who are with us, to ensure that they don't get duped by those who are with them. So if somebody is in PDP and suddenly says, oh, I don't like the way they did their primaries, runs away and comes to a minority party, you know that he's lying to you. He's been sent by his own people to come and hijack that party. Eventually, it will make them lose and go back to where it came from. So that is exactly what Nigerians need to watch out for. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.